What's up, Lucky Gamers? It's Lucky Lux, and today I'm bringing you guys another video on Blue Archive, and today we're going to go over healers. Last video I made, we were going over the tanks, and I was telling you guys how vital some of them are to building your teams and kind of how they work a little bit. We're going to do the same thing for healers, as they'll help keep those tanks alive. Healers are very important, which is why I'm doing these kind of support units first, because that's what's going to help keep your strikers alive, and you don't really have to worry about them as much, because you want to have those supports pretty much built and know how they synergize together. But before we hop into this, I just want to thank all of you guys who've been watching this video, liking the video, those of you who've commented. It's really helping me out, helping me fight against that algorithm. These videos have been honestly the best ones that I've had on my channel. So please, if you are liking this content, you want to see more of this content, just keep liking the videos, comment on the videos, and please subscribe to the channel. It's really a big help. But let's go ahead and hop into this. So we're gonna go over the healers. So again, the healers are gonna be the special type, and they're gonna be in the back line. So they're gonna be off field. So the purpose of that, they're gonna have stats like the HP, attack, defense, and healing. That's gonna go into your team. It's like a small percentage. I think it's like maybe 10% or so that goes into the rest of your team. So this part here is not like super important. Honestly, when you're leveling up your characters and you're gearing them out, the tanks are probably the one that you want to boost up the most, because like the second gear here is for HP and then for the attack, because the tanks need to do damage and they also need to have that HP to survive. The healers, I mean, honestly, like you need to level up their skills because they'll heal more. But like, again, they're not like super vital. You just want to make sure like you time their abilities like correctly. And that's all it goes down to. I'm gonna like kind of tell you that some of these characters don't work well with auto. I mean, honestly, if you're wanting to do any of like the harder content, auto is going to be very difficult for you. And once you get like overpowered, then auto works out, great for you. But yeah, so Hane, she's a good healer. She's a great healer. All these healers are great. Some of them just do things better than others depending on the situation that you're in, right? So on her skill, she's going to continuously recover 54% of healing as HP for one ally. So you have to think about that, right? So this is a EX skill that costs 4, which is more than some of the other characters, and she's only healing one person as continuously, right? So this is somebody who's going to be able to kind of protect themselves. So if you're thinking about like Tsubaki, right? Tsubaki has evasion, so she avoids like taking damage in certain instances. So having a continuous heal kind of helps her passively get that health up, since she's dodging all that damage anyways. But like somebody who is like Hoshino, who's just like straight out tank, or there's another one, Haruka, like they don't have like big sustain, so like a heal over time, like it'll be less of a thing that you want to put on them versus just having somebody who can just heal constantly on them. Her basic skill, it's going to increase defense by 17% for one ally with the lowest HP every 25 seconds. So that's going to be like your strikers, they get low. Even if your tank gets low, it kind of increases that defense. Now again, like Tsubaki doesn't do well with this skill here. So that's the only thing, because again, like Tsubaki has like some of the lowest defense in the game, and she's all evasion. So this does absolutely nothing for her. So it's going to be more so for your strikers to help them survive like maybe a little bit longer, maybe even the support that you have on the field. Enhanced skill for most of these healers is going to be increased healing. So that's increasing your healing by 14%, which having this leveled up is going to increase the amount that you heal, because the heal scales off of your healing stat. And then your sub skill is going to increase ally crit damage. So you want to look at, with you having your strikers, there's a few of them, I can't think of them on the top of my head right now. There's a few of them that have crit and crit damage built into their kits. So this is something you want to look at. This is going to go into the rest of your team. So when you level this up, I mean, you're looking at 10+% extra crit being added on, which is extra damage. So she's really good if you're gonna have like one tank on the team and you're kind of wanting to be a little bit more aggressive. You know, you have your increase in defense, you have your increase in crit damage, so she's gonna help you do more damage. All right, so we're gonna look at Serena. Now, Serena is kind of being crowned as the top healer right now. People are loving her, like absolutely, and she's a 1-star, I believe, and so very easy to get, very easy to level up and get starred out, right? So her EX skill is going to move one ally to a designated location, then recover 120% of healing as HP. So the benefits of this ability is the fact that it costs 2 and it's very cheap. My only issue with this ability is, depending on the character that you have, having them move is going to take away from damage or an action that they're doing, right? So if I'm using like Hoshiko and she shields up and does her ability where she kind of charges forward with her shield, if I try to heal her with this, she's gonna move out of the way and completely waste that ability. Same thing as like Tsubaki, you know, when you heal her up and she taunts, she's supposed to run out in front of the enemies, but if you have her heal with this, she's gonna run away from everybody and then heal up, which is wasting time, because you know, everyone wants to complete their missions on enough time to get the 3 stars on those missions. So you have to think about how you really want to use this. Like, is this maybe better for a DPS and somebody in the back who's like sitting still, or in those instances where you're fighting a boss and the tank doesn't have to move? So just make sure you're using it properly. That way you're not spending too much time in your missions, because those few seconds honestly can matter. I've failed missions by a few seconds by just having something like pop off early when I was in auto, or just messing a step up and using an ability at the wrong time. So this is a character where she's really great, but you just kind of have to watch how you use this skill. Her basic skill recovers 98% of healing as HP for one ally every 35 seconds. This is very good because this is a passive heal that's going to happen for an ally every 35 seconds. Most of the fights on average are going to last like at least 30 seconds, even if you're overpowered. And then whenever you're going through your missions and you're kind of at level, you're going to be ending around a minute 30, minute 40, minute 50. So, I mean, this is going to be going off at least 3, hopefully not 4 times, because then you'll be over the mission time, but you'll at least be getting it 3 times where you can heal somebody. So a really good ability. And this is kind of why she's like put up there on the tier list. Enhanced skill, like I said, increases healing 14%. So that's just gonna bump that healing stat, which is gonna make these heals do even more. So I would definitely suggest leveling up your enhanced skills on these healers, because this is gonna bump that healing stat even more to make these skills do heal more. Now, of course, like, I'm not saying to put this enhanced skill over the EX skill, because like the difference between the two, I mean, you're looking at like 18% extra. That, like, you know, it's the math isn't going to add up, obviously, but this is something you want to think about. So next we're going to look at Ayanna. So she is somebody who is, for a piercing team, she's great. She's great. Like, again, the healers are good in their situations, right? She has a pretty nice healing stat, HP and all that, attack, pretty averaged out. Her heal is, though, what makes me like her a little more, because it's a circle, like AoE. It's an AoE heal, so it's gonna heal multiple people. Now the only thing is that it costs 4, so it's gonna be a little bit more expensive. But then again, it's not healing only one person; it's healing multiple people. So you could like heal up like your whole back, like your mid to back line with this ability, pretty much. Or you could even heal if you have like a tank and then another frontline character, you could heal those 2 at the same time. So you're able to even though it costs more, you can heal more people. So it still has that same efficiency as if you were to have Serena's ability with only 2 skill costs. So just think about that in an area where you're not having to move as much, or in a mission where you're going to take a little bit longer, where your allies are closer together as well, this is where you want to use Ayanna. Her basic skill is going to increase crit resistance by 15% for allies in a circle every 30 seconds. Server maintenance is about to start. But so this crit resistance here is going to be definitely beneficial for PvP, because I mean those players are going to be stacking up crit on you. So she's going to be passively giving this crit resistance 15% less damage for everybody. And there's a lot of ways that you can have your team pretty much tanky, and I'll go over that when we're going over team formations, because I'm going to talk about ones for PvP, because there's some stuff that some of you guys might not exactly be thinking about when you're going for PvP. You're probably going to be going for characters that do a lot of damage, but it's like you want to protect your people, that way they can, you know, withstand all those skills that are going to be popping off. And that's what you want. Survivability, honestly, in PvP. Enhanced skill, healing. We already knew that. Her sub skill is going to increase allies HP by 9.1%. So again, that's another skill that's making your team a little bit tankier. And then so you're going to be looking at your tank, we're looking at tanks that buff their HP. We're looking at tanks that have a high HP pool. They're getting an extra 10%, which most of them are around the 20,000, 17,000 range. So that's again almost 2,000 health going right to those tanks, and then like a couple hundred going to your DPS. This is what's going to help keep your team alive. This is all passive stuff that helps your team. Now, she might not have like the craziest heals like what Serena has, but she has crit resistance built in, an AoE heal, and again, she has HP for everybody. So that is, you know, some skills that you really have to think about depending on the teams that you have and the activity that you're doing. So next we'll get into Fuka. So I love her personally. Her heal is again another amazing AoE heal. It moves everybody to that location. Now again, I did talk about how when you move your allies, it is a loss in DPS. But if you place it right, they don't have to move too far. But also, you can make sure that everyone gets that heal because they will move in, grab the heal, and then run back. So it's more so like a guaranteed AoE heal, which is why I believe it cost 5. And then they recover 109% of healing as HP. A really, really good heal. So if you have Fuka or you're just on the fence about her, she's a good healer. She's a good healer, AoE healer. Basic skill increases defense by 18% for one ally with the highest max health HP every 20 seconds. So you already know this is going to your tank. So if you already know that this increase in defense is going to your tank, you probably don't want to use a tank that has very low defense. You probably want to use somebody like Haruka, who is like, we already did the math for her. Like, you know, she has like 2 skills that give her like 36% extra defense. Now you're getting an extra 18% defense. So like she's getting up to like 600 defense. She's going to be tanky with somebody like this because it's going to be going to her. She's going to have the highest HP on the team. So again, a tank that some people are just like about, and a healer that people are kind of like about. They actually go hand in hand together. Because that increase in defense is going to be amazing, especially if you're doing PvP. To have a tank that's like just so tanky that these people are like not understanding why they can't kill him. You'll see why. You'll see why. And I'll be excited to use this when the PvP comes out, literally in the next day or so. So you'll be seeing some of this. Enhanced skill, increase healing by 14%. Already knew that. And then her sub skill is going to increase ally crit resistance by 9.1%. So we just talked about how Fuka and Haruka can be used for PvP. Now we have increasing allies crit resistance by 9.1%. That is a 9% reduction in damage. And then she's already reducing the damage that the tank takes. But everyone else is receiving that reduction, and she heals everybody. She is keeping the team alive. Again, very, very strong. So I just want you guys to think about that when you're looking at the tier list for these characters. It's great and all that, you know, you're seeing that someone's S tier, S tier, S tier, but do those S tiers go together? You know, like do they actually work together? What's the point of me having all these S tier characters? Because some of them are honestly terrible together. But don't worry, we'll help show you how they can work together. Maybe not with the people that you thought they would, but hey. And again, like I say, with all of the characters. Ooh, I almost forgot about you, Chinatsu. Chinatsu. I'm sorry I forgot about you. There is a little bit of a reason why. But her EX skill recovers 195% of healing as HP for one ally. So it costs 4, which is kind of one of my just like about it. But it recovers the most out of every healer. 195% is the highest percentage out of everybody. And she has a healing stat that's a little on the low end. Most people's around 4,000. She's in 3,000. So this kind of makes up for it. But, you know, that's again one person. So you kind of have to be, you know, a little wise on how you want to use this, because this is going to be more of that emergency heal that's going to just bring them all the way back when they're low. So you don't want to just be throwing this on everybody, because that's a high cost. That's a big heal to be using on like a striker who's half health. You know, you want to save this more so for the tank, or if you are going to use it on a striker, make sure it's somebody who's like, you know, literally on the brink of death or very important to your team. Don't just be throwing this on anybody, because this is a very strong heal to just be throwing out like that. So this is a character who auto is not going to be your friend, to be honest, because auto will heal somebody who is literally has 10% health gone sometimes. Like those characters just be throwing those skills out. So just want to watch for that. Her basic skill is going to increase evasion by 50% for one ally with the lowest HP every 40 seconds. So now this would be broken, right? If this was for an ally with the highest HP, because you already know who this evasion is going to if it was going to a tank, right? Tsubaki, and she's already pretty much amazing for most people. But this evasion is going to be good for like your damage dealers, your DPS, maybe even possibly like if you are like in a PvP situation and that tank gets low and you just happen to have that perfect timing when this lines up, then that tank can kind of survive. But it's mainly going to go to your strikers, and it's just going to help them keep alive, especially when you're waiting on this heal to come back. So that's where I see this kind of, you know, helping out for that high skill cost. Her enhanced skill, increase healing, we're ready to do that. Sub skill, increase ally defense by 9.1%. So, you know, not the best sub skill. Like the 9% defense is like, it's not that strong, because again, it's increasing it like for the tanks, right? Like the tanks with like 400 defense are getting like an extra 40, which is like okay, but why not crit resistance? You know, why not like extra crit rate, extra attack? This ally defense is just a little on the weak side, because one of the tanks that most of you guys are using is Tsubaki, and she has no defense at all. This is literally like an extra, for most of you guys, like an extra 6 or 7 defense. Waste of a sub skill. And for you to get her all the way up to a 3-star and for that to, you know, be there waiting for you, it's a little, you know, it's a little weak. But again, if you have her, it's a 1-star, easy to build up. It's a very strong heal. You just kind of watch how you use it. So like I said, all the healers are good. It just depends on the situations that you use them in. But if your waifu ever meta, remember, get your friendships up. You get those passive skills. I don't think I've been working on my Serena, but she gets extra healing. Let's see, who do I have? Hane, she gets extra healing. Fuka, extra healing. And I'm assuming the others are just the same. Chinatsu, I don't even have them. But yeah, so that waifu, go ahead, level her up, text her, drop gifts off to her, do everything that you can to get that relationship up, because then you're gonna have those extra healing stats, which is honestly, like, for some characters, like an extra few levels, which is gonna help you out to clear content. You never know, those extra few points of healing could actually save your team. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I've explained everything that I have on the healers for you guys. In the next video, I'm gonna be going over the damage dealers and the supports. But anyways, you lucky gamers, have a good one. Lucky Lux out.